All right, let's get started. Thank you for attending this NAFA webinar. I am Luke Acree with ReminderMedia, and I know this is part of your Business Performance Center. So I want to give you some tips today that I hope will help you grow in your practice, help you grow to not only the client base that you want to get to, but also the revenue goals that you have. And my topic today is going to be about how do you create raving fans. I believe, and this is really my specialty, been at this for over a decade, I believe creating raving fans is one of the most critical and important things you can do in your business. And the reason why is because you're going to see in this webinar that most businesses grow from referrals. And you only get referrals is if you're creating raving fans. Just so you guys know who I am, my name's Luke Acree. I'm the president of a company called ReminderMedia. Had the privilege for the last decade to work with over 100,000 business owners, thousands of those being in the financial services space, like financial advisors, insurance professionals. But I've had the opportunity to work in over 140 different industries. So I've gotten a lot of experience of seeing, okay, there's all these different business models and people are selling and delivering different value propositions. But how do you get consumers to respond in the way you want? How do you get consumers, whether you're selling insurance or you're helping them with their financial situation from an advising standpoint, how do you turn them into raving fans? And that's what I want to talk about. So as we dive in, let's all get on the same page of what does it mean to be a raving fan. So Ken Blanchard actually coined this term. He wrote a whole book on this of creating raving fans. And the way he described it was, he said, a raving fan to describe a customer who is so overwhelmed and floored by the experience they receive that they can't stop telling everyone about it. So that is what a raving fan is that they're so floored by the experience that they have received from you that they cannot help but tell everybody they come into contact with about you. Now, here's the thing about raving fans that people miss out on. Normally, when you think of raving fans, and rightfully so, you think positive, meaning like, I want to create raving fans because they're positive, but there's two types of raving fans. There's positive raving fans, but there's also negative raving fans. So if you in your business aren't delivering experiences that are flooring people, a lot of times they might go and rave about you in a poor way. So it is absolutely critical that you enter into your business right now thinking, okay, how do I create raving fans? And how do I make sure that I'm not creating raving fans in a bad way? How do I make sure I'm giving them an experience, not only that they expect, but that is above and beyond? Here, I want to share with you a couple examples. And what I always think is good about marketing and building a business is so often when we're in an industry, we get tunnel vision. What do I mean by tunnel vision? Well, we tend to listen to only people in our industry. We tend to get consumed by content that's in our industry. And it is so valuable sometimes to take a step back, go out a higher level, and go look at maybe what other industries are doing and how have they created raving fans, and what are some of those principles that we can apply to our business to really implement that same methodology. And I have a coffee cup on the screen here. And I say creating fans really is about doing the unexpected. So there was an airline company that the story goes, basically they had a passenger that was running late for one of their flights. They get to the plane just in time. They're sitting there. And this is a passenger, maybe like you, who travels a ton. Maybe you travel all over the nation to see clients, right? And they travel a ton, so a frequent flyer. Well, this passenger ends up tweeting the airline company at the airline. It says, man, just made it to my flight, but sure would be nice, and listed their cup of Starbucks coffee that they would love to have. This airline company's social team was so on top of it. Their PR communication social team was so on top of it. They saw that Twitter tweet. They ended up calling that airport, getting a hold of their people, had their people go to the Starbucks that was in the airport, buy that person a cup of coffee and get it to them before the flight took off. Now that is an example, maybe an extreme example, but do you think that that customer, their loyalty for that airline shot up through the roof? Not only that, do you think that customer ended up telling that story again and again? Not only did they tell the story, it got so big and popular that Luke Acree, now at ReminderMedia, is sharing it with a bunch of financial professionals on a webinar, right? How crazy is that they could take an experience, do the unexpected which floored that customer and creates a raving fan. Here's a second example for you. So one of the things that I always look at in businesses is like, who is just doing stuff different, unexpected? And I think about like fast food industry. And when I think about the fast food industry, I think about the restaurant Chick-fil-A. Now, I'm sure some of you guys have had Chick-fil-A. You should chat in if you've had Chick-fil-A, right? I'm a huge fan of Chick-fil-A because I just love their food. Can't get enough of the nuggets and the Chick-fil-A sauce. But think about Chick-fil-A. When you think fast food, when you think of McDonald's, when you think of Burger King, when you think of all these other fast foods, why is it that Chick-fil-A just stands out? They have set themselves apart where the experience that you have at Chick-fil-A just wows you. Here's why, because if you actually look into the story of Chick-fil-A and the founder, Kathy, when he went to a Ritz-Carlton, he got inspired by his journey at a Ritz-Carlton, his experience there, to bring that type of experience to the fast food industry. And I don't know if you've ever noticed this about Chick-fil-A, but you could probably notice right now, go to their drive-through lines. Why is it that when you're in a Chick-fil-A drive-through line, they can have cars around the building and they still get you through in a really quick time because they're doing the unexpected? They don't just expect you to pull up to the place where you order like every other fast food chain. No, they have people out there with iPads coming up to your car, getting you checked out. So the time you go around, it's just super fast. They've literally tried to implement an unexpected piece that just floors your experience. Not only that, notice this the next time you go eat in a Chick-fil-A, they actually come and they'll bring your food to you at your table. They'll do like 5-star service, like a steakhouse brings your food to you. They'll do that. Not only that, they'll a lot of times check in with you halfway through your meal to see, do you need a refill? Do you need anything at your table? This is not what you would expect at a fast food restaurant, but because they do it, what have they done? They've created raving fans. Not only that, they don't say, you're welcome. They say, my pleasure. It's almost a joke now out there of people trying to get a Chick-fil-A employee to not say my pleasure. The point I'm trying to drive home with this example is that why is Chick-fil-A able to close on Sunday? So they work one less day than all the other fast food chains, but they make more money per store than everybody else. They're able to do that because they're doing the unexpected, which creates raving fans, creates a tribe of people who are diehard Chick-fil-A fans, and they keep coming back and they share that story and they share their experiences, and it causes other people to come and visit. I'll give you one more industry that can help you kind of piece this together to make you think about your practice. So I have a podcast, it's called Stay Paid. So I get to interview a lot of the top coaches in the industry. I get to interview a lot of the top producing financial advisors or insurance agents. And I got to interview this coach named Jay Baer. And Jay Baer, he wrote the book Utility, which I believe is a bestseller book. But he told me about a client of his that is a podiatrist. So as a doctor, they're a podiatrist. And he said, when he first got this client, he was blown away at the loyalty of this client's patients. Not only that, he was blown away at all the referrals that this doctor, this podiatrist was getting. And so he did what any coach would do. He got in to figure out, well, what is this doctor doing that is causing patients to rave about this doctor? Because if you know podiatry, which most of us don't, there's a lot of podiatrists, right? There's a lot of doctor's offices. It's like dentistry, right? There's a lot of dentists that you can go to. Normally, people choose a dentist or a podiatrist convenient to their house. But what Jay Baer noticed is that his client had patients literally driving past 2-3 other podiatry offices to come to his office to be a patient for him. And when he looked into why, what he found was there were some simple things that the doctor was doing that were totally different. And one of the simplest things that the doctor did that caused the patients to rave about him is the doctor, for every patient, would call that patient, especially new patients, before they came to visit him. He would call them, introduce himself, talk to the patient, get to know them just a little bit before their first visit. Now, I want you to think about that for a second, because that's something real simple. Why aren't other doctors doing that? Every one of us expects, if we go have some type of treatment, if we're given, a prescription, or if we go into surgery, like I had my ACL done, I expect the doctor to call me after my surgery and check in. Everybody expects that. We've all experienced it. They check in. How's the prescription? How's your pain tolerance? We all expect it. So we don't rave about it. It's not unique to us. I've never had a doctor that I've gone and seen that's called me before my appointment. Think about that. I've never had a doctor in my experience in life, and I've had 2 ACL surgeries and a couple of other things. I've never had a doctor call me before my appointment. This doctor just implemented calling his patient before their appointment, and he ends up getting all these raving fans, and his podiatry practice is booming. So that's an example of how do you create raving fans in your business? It's doing the unexpected. You as an advisor, you as an insurance professional, I'm going to tell you something here. When I come to use you as a financial advisor, when I come to use you as an insurance professional, I expect you to give me sound financial advice. I expect it. That's why I'm coming to you. I expect you to help guide me and help me get the insurance policies that I need and the insurance coverage I need. All these things are expected. So guess what? When you do it for me, I'm not impressed. It's like going into a room. Imagine this, going into a room, flipping on a light switch and going, oh my gosh, the lights came on. I can't believe the lights came on, and being ecstatic and going and running out and telling everybody, come look at this. When I flip on the switch, the lights come on. Nobody does that. Nobody does that because when you go into a room and you flip on the switch, you expect the lights to come on. You're not impressed by it because you expect it. The same applies in this principle to your business. When you service people in their insurance needs, when you service them in their financial needs, they expect that. So even though you might be doing an incredible job, and you probably are, it doesn't take somebody into the category of being a raving fan that wants to tell the kids that are going to eventually inherit the money, you should never leave Luke Acree. He is unbelievable. It doesn't make them tell their friends, their family members, hey, if you're looking for someone great, you should use Luke Acree because he just goes above and beyond. He's unbelievable. So the $1 million question is like, why is this so important? Why am I harping on this so much? Look at these 2 stats just to drive it home. And there's plenty more in the industry like this. When asked, 92% of advisors said that referrals from their current clients are their best source of new business. Your best source of new business, the best way to hit the revenue goals that you want, the client goals that you want, is sitting in your database right now. How do you tap into that? That's what I'm going to talk about for the next half of this webinar, is how you can tactically do that with some marketing. But 92% are saying their best business is from referrals. So why would you not put time, energy, and money into creating raving fans? 44% of high net worth clients. Who wants to work with high net worth clients? A lot of us do. Found their wealth manager or advisor through referral. You know how I found my advisor? I found my advisor because my wife's a teacher, and she worked with another teacher named Louise, and Louise's husband was an advisor. And guess what earned his business? What earned my business to him? It wasn't necessarily that Matt, my advisor, had all the right credentials or anything like that, even though he has great credentials. It was that we built a relationship through a referral through our wives, and we built a friendship there. We went out for drinks. We got to know each other, and he earned my business by a referral. That is how the business works. So how do you do that? That's the $1 million question. How do you do this? If we want to create raving fans, what I want to do for you over the next really probably 10, 15 minutes is I want to give you a framework that when I think about the last, decade, almost 2 decades, we've been at this at ReminderMedia. We've sent over 100 million pieces of marketing mail, so direct mail marketing pieces. We've sent over 500 million marketing emails. We've spent millions and millions of dollars on social media advertising. I'm sharing this with you so I can tell you I've taken all this stuff that I've learned from spending this money, from working with over 100,000 small businesses, and gone, what is it that's worked? When we've put together direct mail campaigns with postcards, when we've put together email campaigns, when we've done these nurture systems, what is it that actually worked to produce results where people started raving about their advisor, started giving referrals? And what we found was my CMO and I spent a ton of time trying to research this and go, what is it that really makes someone successful? And what we ended up coming up with was a framework that we put into an acronym called FIT marketing. I love acronyms because they're easy to remember. So if you're watching this, write down FIT. It stands for F-I, or it spells out F-I-T. And the concept here is if you want to create raving fans and you feel you're not getting the referrals you want, hey, your marketing's out of shape. It's not producing. You got to get it in shape. You got to make it fit. So what does FIT stand for? Well, I think a picture is worth 1,000 words. And this picture of this bucket leaking water tends to be a lot of the financial advisors or insurance practices that I go into. When I look at their model, when I look at their marketing, this is where I tend to see their business. They spend so much energy, cold calling, seminars, postcards, social media, websites, all great things. They spend so much energy trying to fill up their bucket of business with clients, fill up their bucket of business with AUM that they're trying to manage. And what happens to them is they get so focused at filling up the bucket, they spend all of their marketing money up here because it's all about producing new leads. It's all about getting new clients. It's all about getting people into your business, that they ignore that, hey, wait a second, you have to actually make sure you keep the clients that you have, and not only keep the clients, that you keep the beneficiaries who are going to receive that, and you keep the referrals that these clients have for you that are going out the door. And most advisors fail at this. Literally only 2% of kids keep their parents' financial advisor. Only 2%. It's like 70% of widows move the account within a couple months of their husband passing away. They move their account to another advisor simply because the advisor tends to focus all their time from a marketing standpoint, getting new clients, and all of their time when they go after the bucket, just educating them on what they're doing from a transactional standpoint. You need to implement marketing in your business that applies the FIT framework. And let me walk you through it real quick. So in order to fix your leaky bucket, you need a marketing plan, a nurture plan that applies these three things. The first is frequency. So the F stands for frequency and FIT. I chose the word frequency because I think it has two meanings that we can apply from a marketing standpoint or creating raving fan standpoint. Frequency stands for how often you're in front of somebody. So what we have found in our careers, that if you have a new prospect, someone that you're courting, someone that you're just bringing in, it's really important that you get in front of that person as much as possible in the first couple months of that relationship. Seems obvious, but to break it down to a number, there's this rule in marketing called the rule of 7. And what they found when they looked at this is they found that it usually takes someone about 7 times seeing your brand in order for your brand to become memorable. 7 times you have to touch with that person. So think of any prospect you have right now that you're trying to come over, that you're trying to be their advisor, you're trying to do their insurance for them. It takes them 7 times to see your stuff, to see your brand, for your brand even to become memorable to them. If you apply it to me right now, so as you guys are maybe meeting Luke Acree for the first time, you're hearing ReminderMedia, my company, for the first time, 2 days from now, a week from now, you won't remember me at all. It's so important that if I'm trying to build a relationship with you, if I'm trying to take you from the category of anonymous, where you kind of know me, and then we get into the acquaintance phase, but you're not really have a strong relationship with me, I've got to get in front of you at least 7 times over the next couple of weeks to solidify my brand in your mind. Doesn't mean you're going to do business with me yet, but at least it gets that solidification. So part of your marketing has to have a frequency in front of people to build brand recognition. So when you think about your core clients and you go, well, Luke, what about my bucket of core clients that know me? I don't have to build brand recognition. They already use me. How often should I be in front of them in order to make sure they never forget me, they have top of mind awareness, and I'm actually getting referrals from them? What we have found is that we have found about 26 times a year tends to be a sweet spot that we see people get the most response. So there's no magic number, but I will tell you this from an example standpoint. It's very hard to do too many touch points to your database to nurture them, to your clients to create raving fans. It's actually very hard. We have a client, Brian Harris, he does about 200 plus touch points a year. He pulls $6 million out of his practice. 6 million, he does 200 touch points a year. Some of the touch points he uses are our company's touch points, but he uses a myriad of other touch points. Think about that, 200 touch points. Now he tracks everything. Emails he sends them, from basic emails and basic text messages to actually marketing driven emails, happy birthday cards, spring cards, client events. He does our customizable magazine. He's tracking everything. He does up to 200 touch points. And he's pulling 6 million out of his practice. Why do I share that with you? I'm sharing it with you to drive home. It's really hard to do too many touch points, but it's very, very easy to fall into the trap where you're only touching base with your client once a quarter, where you're only talking to your client 2 times a year. It's very easy to do that because that's what the 99% of financial professionals do. If you want to get into the 1%, you got to do what the 1% are doing, which is you got to up your game of the amount you're in front of them. So 26 times is a great minimum for you going, am I in front of my clients 26 times a year? But I chose frequency, remember, because it has 2 meanings. One is about the frequency of touch points, but the other meaning is the frequency level of communication. So the best way to explain this is think about music. I might like rap music, right? And you might like country music, or I might like opera music and you might like pop music. When you get into the car, you're going to go find the frequency. You're going to go find the radio station that plays the type of music that you want to listen to. Your clients have a frequency level of communication that they like to communicate on. It is insanely important that as you learn your clients and their personalities and what they prefer, that you try to market to them in those frequency levels. So what is a frequency level in marketing? You have email, text message, phone call, face-to-face, print. You might have social media. There's all these different frequencies, video marketing, that people might respond to. You might have Luke Acree, who actually wants to go to a cup of coffee with you. And you might have Susan, who does never want to go to a cup of coffee. They would prefer just getting an email from you with all the details that they need to know. If you can figure out the frequency level that your client likes to communicate on, it will help you from a marketing standpoint, know kind of what drips to put that person on. Now, I know that's really intense from a detail standpoint, but that's the goal. That's where you should be headed to. Take frequency even deeper. What's their personality like? And how do I make sure that I'm meeting them from a personality standpoint when you're talking to them, when you're doing their annual reviews or their biannual reviews, however you do it? How do I match that frequency level? Now, here's the key. I told you it's FIT, F-I-T. You can't just do one of these things and create raving fans. It can't just be about frequency, because I can send something to you 26 times a year and it actually have the opposite effect than I want. The second piece that you have to do is you got to make sure that you also have impact. The I stands for impact, because like I said, I don't know if I have one. Yeah, I have one here on my desk. So here's a pen with my logo on it. A lot of you guys probably have the same. So my company, we have pens with logos on it. Imagine if I sent you this pen 26 times a year. Well, my branding would be on it. You'd see me, but you would go, okay, Luke, if you send me another pen, I'm going to blow up. I don't need any more pens. Not only that, you would probably start recognizing me as the pen guy. You're like, okay, yeah, Luke, he does pens because every 2 weeks I get a pen from him. You get my point. My point being is it's not just about frequency. You need frequency to build top of mind awareness to get attention, but you also have to create impact, because impact is what takes it from being junk to being of value, and value is memorable. And you need that memorability. You need the people to see you in a good light. You need to do the unexpected, create impact with them so they remember you. There was a study done to drive this home. There was a study done, I forget the university, but they were trying to figure out what causes students to remember a teacher. When you think about teachers, think back to high school, right? Middle school, college even. What teachers do you remember and why? Which ones stand out to you as like, that was my greatest teacher? So they did this whole study and basically going and surveying, asking people, what made you remember your teacher? Here's the craziest thing. What came back is what made teachers the most memorable and the most impactful was that the teacher took a personal caring to that student. The teacher got to know that student personally. The teacher got to know the struggles and pains and dreams of that student. That's what made the teacher memorable. Why am I driving home this point? because it's not the credentials that made the teacher great. It wasn't that they had a PhD or a master's. It wasn't even how well they presented. It wasn't even how well they were or passionate they were about the info. All those things were important, but the most important thing that made a student remember that teacher and pick that teacher as the teacher that they remembered and valued the most was that teacher cared about the student personally. How do you create impact in marketing? Is your marketing personal? Are you doing marketing that is more than just about the service or the transaction? Most of the time when I go into a financial advisor's practice and I look at their drip campaign, it's a lot of financial information. It's a lot of info that's just transactional, that's just service-based. Good, you need that. But remember my example at the beginning of the webinar, you walk into a room, you flip on a light switch, you're not impressed. You expect the lights to come on. You sign up for a financial advisor to help you and you get financial information from them, you're not impressed. You expect that. You've got to think deeper than that to create raving fans and go, what am I right now dripping on my clients to show them that I care about them? That's more than just about their money, more than just about the transaction. And think even deeper, more than just one Christmas gift a year. Every financial advisor is doing that. I got candy this year for my financial advisor for a Christmas thank you, right? Or a holiday thank you. So I expect it. Or a birthday card. People expect a birthday card on their birthday. People expect in the month of November, when Thanksgiving's happening, people expect everybody to do things like going to the food bank and giving back. Imagine partnering with the food bank when it's not November. That's unexpected because people are always expecting you to do that in around Thanksgiving timeframe. It's always thinking outside the box and going, what can I do that people wouldn't expect, that's impactful, that's powerful? Two ways to do this in marketing is through personalization and quality. So the hack I always love giving people in these presentations is I love giving them the Ford method. A lot of times people think of the Ford method from a sales methodology standpoint, and this is sales, but I like to think about it from a client experience standpoint and a client retention standpoint. So Ford stands for family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. And your activity that you should do right now to try to make impact in your marketing, in your communication even, is you should look at your client database right now and ask yourself, do I know the 4 pillars of the Ford method of each of my clients? So if Luke Acree is a client of yours, do you know Luke and his family? Do you know he's married to his wife, Megan, and they have a daughter named Evelyn? Even take it deeper, they have 2 dogs, Bilbo and Nora. My wife is a Lord of the Rings nerd, so she named our dog Bilbo. But the point being is, like, do you know that? Because that's personal to me. That gets your relationship closer. Do you know my occupation, that I'm president of ReminderMedia, right? Do you know what I do for work and what I'm trying to achieve? Do you know what my recreational activities are, like what my hobbies are? You would find out, wow, Luke loves music. He's involved in his church, Calvary Vision. He plays on their praise team. You would find that stuff out. And then do you know Luke's dreams? This is so important as an insurance professional, financial professional. You're helping people achieve their dreams. You're not just helping them with finances or a policy. You're helping them achieve their dreams. If you know where Luke's going and what Luke's trying to do, man, if you know these 4 pillars on somebody, I guarantee you have a close relationship with them. And when the market turns, which it always will, we always know we can't control the market. What will matter there is, do I know Matt, and does Matt, my financial advisor, know me? And do I see Matt more as a friend and someone I trust, or do I see him as my transactional advisor? And if Matt, my financial advisor, has not invested to get to know me from a Ford methodology standpoint, then when the market turns and my stocks aren't doing well and I'm not happy and I'm nervous, all I think about is like, well, can I find someone better than Matt? Is Matt really giving me the best information? But if Matt has taken the time to get to know my wife, Megan, to get to know what my dreams are, to know me personally, it's so much harder for me to want to leave Matt, because I've developed a trust that transcends just the product, transcends just the service, and it becomes personal, and I become a fan of Matt. And that's really what gets people to refer you and do business with you. If you think about why you don't get referrals, it's because someone giving a referral to you means they have to have the ultimate trust in you, because their name and their reputation then goes out on the line to refer you. For them to say to their parents, their kids, their friends and family, you should go use Bob, it means my brand and my honor, my reputation is standing up for Bob. And I have to have complete trust. How do you build trust with people? You got to get people to know, like, and trust you. This is part of the knowing and the liking phase of that to lead to that trust. Quality, this has to do with what you send. So, I always tell people, it's like we just had daylight savings. And I know I'm going to get tons of emails for daylight savings from advisors and from real estate agents and from insurance agents. Don't forget about your clocks. I'm going to get that. That's not quality. It's not bad. I don't want to beat you up for doing something like that. It can be one of your touch points. But if that's all you're doing is just generic, what I expect and I receive from five other service professionals, it doesn't stand out. How can you get better quality? Like, one of the things we do for clients is we do a 48-page custom magazine. And what's so interesting about this is that it's so different. Everybody expects to receive an email from you. Everybody expects to receive a postcard from you. But when they receive a 48-page glossy coffee table magazine, the impact of it, they don't throw it away. They bring it in their home. It's full of content that's not about financial services or anything like that. It's just content that Megan would enjoy or I would enjoy when we're sitting there on a Saturday. And that, because it's high quality, because it's different, it creates impact. We find that people hang on to it for 4 weeks. We find the average person reads 44 minutes with it. We find it's a 58% referral rate over the course of 12 months, just because it's different. So again, you want frequency, you want impact, but you can't just have these two things. You need the last piece of this framework, which is trust. You want to be frequently in front of people with impactful pieces that ultimately lead to them seeing you as the agent, the broker, the financial advisor of trust. That when they think, who do I trust that knows more about what I should do with my money than anybody else, they need to think your name. Because if you're frequent and you're impactful, but you don't lead them to seeing you as what I call as the SME, the subject matter expert, when it comes to everything insurance or when it comes to everything financial, if they don't see you as the SME, you're going to end up with a bunch of best friends and not a lot of people doing business with you. I'm sure you need some friends, but we all want clients. We all want to get people to do business with us. You need to make sure that you're also in your drip, that 26 touches. You're doing impactful things, but you're also branding yourself as the subject matter expert. How can you do this? I put 3 bullet points on the screen for you that you're probably taking a look at now. One is you can build trust with people by sharing your accolades. You need to humble brag about yourself. Humble bragging shows that you are active. And when people see you active, they think productive. Remember that in psychology, when they see you out there and about, like if they see you posting on your social consistently, if they see you putting up awards that you've done, if they see you putting up client success stories, they see you doing these type of things, they see you as productive because it's just that frequency mixed with the humble brags that they go, wow, man, Luke really knows what he's doing. Now, I did this, right? When I'm introing in, what did I say about myself? I said, look, we've been doing this over a decade. I've worked with 100,000 business owners. Why would I share that? I share that because I want to build trust with you. I want you to know, hey, I didn't create this in my mom's basement yesterday. These ideas that I'm sharing with you, I'm not just pulling them out of thin air. I've been at this for over a decade and worked with 100,000 small business owners, thousands of them being financial professionals. That's an accolade of mine. My years in business and how many clients I've served, that's an accolade. It's not making a huge difference maybe in your mind. You don't see me as the ultimate guru yet, but it helps increase your trust a little bit. If I tell you, man, my company, ReminderMedia, man, I have about 300 employees and I've been on the Inc. 5000 list for 4 years in a row of fastest growing companies in America. Those accolades, my number of staff, how long I've been on the Inc. 5000 list, those type of things help. So if you have accolades like your years in business, the clients you've served, maybe it's awards you've won. If you have things like that, don't be afraid to use that in your marketing as a humble brag to build trust. Second way you can build trust is you can build trust through testimonials. Now, I know this is brand new for like financial advisors with compliance. So you're starting to be able to use testimonials a little bit more, but they can be super powerful to share the stories, the success stories of clients that have worked with you. Because what I always tell people is, look, you care what I have to say about myself, but you care way more what my clients have to say about me. So I can sit up here and tell you, hey, my magazine, it has these stats and I've been around, I've worked with this many people. But if I can get clients of mine to share their experience with it, you're going to trust that way more. NAFA members, if I got NAFA members that are clients of mine to share their experience with you, you trust them because you're NAFA members together. And now you're trusting them way more than me because they're an actual client. So client success stories are so critical. And then the third way, this is the longest from an effort standpoint, but ultimately will return the most return on investment for you, which is educational content. So if you can put out educational content consistently to people, they will naturally start seeing you as the subject matter expert on what you're putting out. So if you're concerned on like, what type of educational content do I do, Luke, how do I do this? The tip I give people is take a second, take a few minutes, sit down at a table, pen and paper, and write down your frequently asked questions. What are the most frequently asked questions you get from new prospects? What are the most frequently asked questions you get from clients? What are the most frequently asked questions you get on the industry, on the stock market, on crypto? All those things, get your frequently asked questions down on paper. That's your educational content. Right there, that's your educational content. And there's tons of great companies out there that can even help provide educational content for you. And I'm sure even NAFA has educational content that you can look at where you can put that out. And I'll give you an example outside your industry. So if I am a roofer and I do roofs for a living and I have a social media page and I have an email and I'm constantly not just putting this stuff out, but one of the drip pieces I put out is educational things that you should know about your roof. When should you actually look at your roof? What should you do if your roof is leaking? What type of shingles are best? Is solar a good option for you to put on your roof? If I take all these different details that people probably want to know about roofs, and I put that out consistently, and you see that in your social feed, you see that in your email, but I'm not just doing that. I'm also doing other valuable pieces that are just impactful, that are just things for you to enjoy. And you're seeing that educational stuff. I guarantee you're going to start thinking, wow, Luke, if I need any help with roofs, I'm going to go to him. He seems to know a lot about roofs. The same applies to you as a financial professional. If you just do it consistently, it will build in the subconscious mind of all your consumers and clients out there that you are that subject matter expert. Here's the thing about this type of marketing and why people don't do it successfully, because they quit too soon. And I'll give you an example like working out that we all can relate to. So if you go to the gym right now and you make the decision, I want to get healthy and I want to get in shape, I want to have my beach body by summer, and you go to the gym today and you come back and you look at yourself in the mirror, you will see no change. You went, you did the right activity. You went and worked out. You did the right activity. You went and you posted educational content on your social. And you go and you look in the mirror and you're looking for results. You have no results yet, right? You can't see it. You can't see the results. And if you even go to the gym and you work out 9 hours straight, come back, look in the mirror, you're going to still see no results on the outside. You post all day long on your social content. You're going to come back and go, man, I don't see any results. It's not about working out harder and 9 hours a day. It's not about posting content just consistently one day. What we all know is that if you go to the gym every day, 30 minutes even a day, every day, I can't tell you the exact date, but I promise you one day you will look in that mirror and you will see the external results of your internal work. You will see the results. I can't tell you what day. Is it going to be month 3? It's going to be month 6, but I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, if you stay consistent and you do that, you will see the results. The same applies to educational content, to marketing through content marketing, is that I can't tell you the exact day you get your first referral, the exact day you get someone that says, because I've been seeing your stuff on social media, I'm now going to choose to use you. But I promise you, if you keep putting out content, you keep staying top of mind with people with impactful information that educates them and builds trust. One day you will all of a sudden wake up and go, wow, look at all these results I've gotten. NAFA is literally doing this right now. Why do you think they have me on doing this educational content for you? They want to make sure they're bringing value. Same for me. Why am I on this? Giving educational content. I want to give this value to you. So when you look at NAFA and you look at Luke Acree and ReminderMedia, you go, man, if I need help with marketing, maybe today you don't need it. But when you wake up one day and you need help with marketing, I'm hoping that you remember me, that you're seeing my educational content in front of you, my value-driven, impactful content in front of you. So you go, you know what? I'm going to go talk to Luke because he seems to be a subject matter expert when it comes to marketing. And let me try his magazine. Let me see what he's doing there. And let me see what he's doing for his clients. It literally works the same in every industry. If you pull these three pillars together, and you do them consistently, this is for the last 2 decades what I've seen work time and time and time again across 140 different industries. The widget that we're offering can be different, but the principles are the same. I know this because we do the magazine and we've done it. And what's worked about it is it's frequent. It's a bi-monthly subscription. So you're out in front of people frequently. You can do it both digitally and print. So you can hit multiple frequency levels. You can put video in your digital. You can share your digital on social and email and text message. You can share your print face-to-face. You can send it to people delivered to their home. It's high quality, meaning it's coffee table. You can personalize it down to the individual. So like on the front inside of the magazine, there's actually a place to write a letter. So if you knew my wife and I, we had an anniversary, you could literally write us a personal letter in the inside front cover of our magazine. Or if you have a golf buddy right now that you play golf with, next time, like a client, you're out on the golf course, snap a picture of you and the client, put that picture in their magazine that's delivered to them. It will be impactful. It's different. It stands out. It's not full of financial information. So people just enjoy it. And then why does it build trust? Because in your magazine, you can also feature educational content. Maybe you put on the back cover client success stories. Maybe you feature what someone needs to know right now in the market and what's going on. Maybe you do those things to build your credibility, to build your trust. We've done this for 2 decades now with thousands and thousands of people. And when we started piecing together, well, what is it exactly that makes this so successful? We realized, oh man, it's hitting these 3 principles. We also do this in digital, like I said, with email, with social. And I realized, oh my gosh, yeah, if I'm frequent and can be on a bunch of different frequency levels, but I don't focus just on solicitation, just on marketing, I focus on impact so I can personalize my digital stuff. Like one of our digital pieces that we send is the local events that are happening in the community. So I'm in King of Prussia, which is right outside of Philadelphia. So I can send an email that to all my database that basically goes, hey guys, here's what's happening in the next 2 weeks in King of Prussia, the King of Prussia Beer Fest. You know, there's this play going on at this local theater. And I can give that to my clients just as a value add. It has nothing to do with me as a financial advisor necessarily, but it's something that I think my clients might love. And the engagement rates we get from that, because it's focused more on impact than it is just focused on a transaction, the feedback we get, the open rates is unbelievable. And then of course you brand it to you with some educational content in that email still that points you as the subject matter expert. Even some of our clients, like if you do a seminar, that's an event, put your seminar in the event next to all the other local events that are going on in the community. So this is just some of the examples I would give you of why do I know this works? Why do I know this is true? It's because not only have I seen it work time and time again, like we're literally doing this today with our products, having a ton of success with it. So really appreciate you guys tuning in to this webinar. We are partners with NAFA. So if you're interested to learn more about this, maybe even try something like this for your clients as a way to do something unique, we have a partnership with NAFA. We normally do have a $300 setup fee, but being a NAFA member, you can get that for only $99.99. You can check out way more information at remindermedia.com/NAFA. So you'll be able to check that out. You can call us, book an appointment, learn more about it, even get a sample sent to you. You can see we have a bunch of different magazines you can choose from based upon what your client might enjoy the most. And then, really appreciate all of you guys for listening. Would love to connect with you on social. These right here, these are my social media handles. If you're looking for my content from a marketing and education perspective, go check out our YouTube page. It's ReminderMedia. We also have a podcast that we put out every 2 times a week, so every Monday and Thursday. I actually believe it's been really successful for us. I think we're number 11 right now on the Apple Podcast charts for marketing. So we interview people like Tom Hegna, Ed Slott, Rich Dimka, right? A big NAFA guy, interviewed him. So there's a ton of top producers on there, coaches, thought leaders. We pick their brain. Would love for you guys to check that out. Stay Paid Podcast. And then you can find me at Luke Acree on Instagram or at Luke Acree RM on Facebook. And of course, Luke Acree on LinkedIn. Really, really appreciate it. And I will close it out here. If you have questions, please send your questions to us. I'll go back to our page where you can go to remindermedia.com/NAFA. Would love to talk to you more. And I really appreciate you guys' time. If you take one thing away from this, take away that creating raving fans requires you to do the unexpected. So look at your sales process, your client service process, and ask yourself, where am I going above and beyond? Where am I doing something in this process that is unexpected, that's different and unexpected in a good way, where you're delivering some type of value that they're just blown away by because they did not expect it. And that's what makes you memorable. That's what creates tribes of people that want to refer you. Always remember the difference between top producers, mediocre producers. It's top producers take action. So I hope you guys have a great day. Really appreciate the opportunity, and I hope to hear from you. See ya.